Hello, welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. I think this is episode 17. How are you? How have you been? I think I last issued a podcast, well over a week ago. Nearly 2 weeks, I think. So I'm back. I was trying to get my top finished before I next made an episode, but I've been fighting with it for a couple of days now. To finish it off, and I'm just not getting there. So I thought I'd come on, have a chat to you, and then show you the top next time. I'm at a slightly different angle because although it's gone dull here and it is about 6:30 at night, the top I've got on is blowing out a bit, and I don't want to change it. It's hand knitted and I've worn it because I'd like to do a podcast. That's no excuses. How have you been? I know I've been chatting to some of you, and I've been quite busy, hence me not coming and talking to you sooner. And we're nearly at the end of our spring mall, so I just want to remind you before I do anything else that the first part of the seasonal mall is going to end on the 30th of June. I will close the thread on the 1st of July, so that, if you're elsewhere in the world and you want to add something else really late on the 30th of June, then you can. And the summer mall will start then from 1st of July till the end of September. And also we've got the staff to shelf mall as well. So please come in. We've had a few entries. There will be a prize draw. I will be making a bag as soon as I finish the top I'm working on. I'm trying not to say a swear word because it has been a bit of a chore, shall we say. A long journey. We were making one of my wonky bags, and that will go in it along with a couple of other goodies. There'll be some yarn in there, etc. I think I talked about posting all over the world in the episode I ended up deleting and redoing, and I didn't mention it again. And at the risk of going over old ground, because I haven't checked to see what I said on last time's podcast, I am happy to post anywhere in the world. However, because of the high cost now, particularly to the USA, then I will be posting it economy. But it only took Emily's parcel to her in the US just over 2 weeks, I think, to get there. So it is still reliable. I know you keep hearing horror stories about things being stuck in customs. But yeah, it made it. It was all intact, etc. So I will post anywhere, but it will be like standard, or not standard, but economy it's called, to the US, and whatever the cheaper rate. Unless it's inhibitive. The thing is, that last parcel was 800 grams, and they wanted 20 quid to post it for standard delivery. And I'd rather spend the money on the goodies inside, to be honest. So I opted for that. So if you're entering, please bear that in mind. Not everywhere. Anything I talk about today, plus my contact details and my email, my Instagram and my Ravelry link are all links below. So all you need to do is click on them and it will take you direct to me on another forum. Isn't that nice? Yeah. So you can see a bit more mess behind me. I keep meaning to tidy it up, but I like to have so much within my reach that it gets a bit sort of swamped, and my table is driving me up the wall, the one where you're sat, because I tidy it up and then it gets really, really messy again. And in order to record, I've just had to spend a couple of minutes shoving stuff apart so I can get the camera set up where I want it. Oh, well, yes, never mind. Okay, so what am I wearing? I am wearing, although it's blowing out a little bit, I'm wearing a peach colour top, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get you. I say it's the sun's gone way over the house. I don't know why it's blowing out like this, which is a pale peach coloured top, and it has got in it a, oh no, you're not going to be able to see it. I will have to put a photograph. It cut out on me, how dare it? So you can see there's a slight, that's a terrible view. There's a very slight pattern in it. That's where I've pulled it. And it's got contrast ends to the sleeves and on the hem. I need a selfie stick. Yeah, and a scoop neckline. So, and I think that's, I prefer that with having a bigger bust. I quite like a bit of a neckline. I certainly don't go for a boat neck on me would look a bit, you know, I feel anyway. I knitted this last year. It is in some very cheap cotton yarn, 100% cotton, DK, that I got off a lady on Facebook. I think I paid £1 a ball. And I thought I was going to run out of yarn again. So I ordered a bit more and I asked for the wrong colour, hence the contrast in the sleeves. And all I've done is I used a pattern that I knew fitted me for the cast on quantity, and I've done all the rest myself. And when I say all that, I don't mean design. I mean, I've done a 1x1 rib in 2 colours, and then I've done 2 pearls that are sort of offset, where you might put eyelets, for instance, on, just to give it a tiny little bit of texture. And then I've done the scoop neck, worked out how low I wanted it to be, and I've done some, it's a drop shoulder, so straight sleeves, you know, no shaping in the body, as simple as can be, and I'm quite pleased with it. I also ordered a bottle green off the lady at the same time, and that's far more patterned, although it's darker so you can't all, necessarily see the pattern. But that might show up better on here, and I'll wear it one day when I'm podcasting and show you that as well. So I might have some different photographs of this. I'll have to see, and if I've got them, or if I can take some photographs before I finish the editing of this, I'll put it back, I'll put them in. I'm always promising photographs, I'm not doing them. So yeah, so that is what I'm wearing. Can you tell I've had my hair cut? It's just been chopped really. She's put a few layers in it, but my hair's so flat. Look, you see in the light, see how grey I'm getting? Yay! I don't mind going grey actually. Apparently my scalp's a bit red, although I've been sat under the brolly and we've had rain and dull weather for about a week, so I don't know why it looks burned. But I was told off by the hairdresser for having a red scalp. Anyway, let's talk about the top, shall we? Because I do have a finish, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I want to get this out of the way because I can move it out of the way then. I'm going to find it difficult to show you. It got... find a pair of scissors I can cut the... You're used to me, aren't you? Being organised. Not. I can cut that, then I can make a nicer job of showing you the thing itself. Okay, last time I showed you that I had some yarn, and I think I showed you the back of this, and basically I had some cotton and some linen that I bought years and about 2014. I think I bought them the same year and the same time. I didn't buy them to knit them up together, but when I put them together the other day, I realised that they'd make a nice sort of melange top, if you like. I do like a good melange. Well, I did until I knitted this. Now, again, I took a stitch count of something I know that fits me, and I did actually swatch for this, so it should fit me without being too big, but I think it's going to be bigger again, and I don't understand that, so... That's not bad. This is my cotton and linen top, double knitting cotton and a very thin, it's less than 4 ply. I don't think it's lace weight though. I think there's 3 very thin strands of linen, and I've mixed them together so that there is a bit of contrast, but not necessarily all the time. So I've worked the way up, and then I've just done cast on under the arms to do the sleeves, and then I've got that little bit of faux seaming coming up there. I finished the one sleeve finally. I've finished that off with a just a garter stitch 4 rows like I started the bottom of the hem with, and then I just did the knit 2 together cast off because the standard cast off is pulling in a little bit. Now I've done the neckline, and I was showing Penny today. It looks a bit mean, I think, and she agreed. It's it's just a rolled cast off. You know, I've done about 3 rows. And we both agree that I need to put it back on the needles and do probably another 2 rows, and then I'll cast off with the same method. But I'm running out of yarn. This has taken so much yarn that it's, you know, I've run out of the cotton and the linen in any quantity now. So I'm pleased with it. But because I've put all these stripes in, and you can see how many colour changes every time you see it being mottled and the change. Then I had linen changes and cotton changes, and the linen, trying to sew that in, I asked Estelle of Midwinter Yarns, because I've ordered some linen off her to make the runway tee, and I said, do you knot the linen? And she said, oh, definitely. So you need to knot it. So I knotted the linen where we had start and finished one colour, and I had loads and loads and loads of ends to sew in, and I'm not joking, it took me at least 6 hours yesterday. I watched, I don't know how many episodes of Sewing Bee, or how many series. I was getting really fed up. I did all the linen, and then I went back and started on the cotton, and I had the same number of cotton changes as well. So I was getting fed up. You know, I'm not going to do anything like that again in 2 colours, but I haven't got anything else that I could do that with, you know. Anyway, I cast off the neck last night, and I was a bit on the line about it, and I asked Tom to hold it up for me. And he did, and he said, this way, he said, Tony, it'll be lovely in the winter. I'm sure he does it on purpose. He's out at the moment. Say what I like about him at the moment. I said, it's a summer top. He said, it's very heavy for summer. I said, yes, it is, but cotton is heavy anyway. Knitted cotton. Not when you buy a T-shirt, obviously, but if you knit anything with a decal upwards in cotton, it does tend to have a little bit of weight to it, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased with the colour. I really, really like the colours. But, you know, I'll be glad when I get it off the needles. I've got to do the second sleeve finish, unpick the neck again. I'm not going to unpick it all. I'm just going to undo the cast off. I've sewn the ends in as well. And I must stop grunting like a pig. And I'm going to do the side seams. But they're just straight, you know, underarm, straight down. So, yeah. So that is my first works in progress. My nearly finished. I'll be glad when it's off the needles. I don't know. I need to think of a name for this. Any suggestions? And the other thing I'm making at the moment, with my evening knitting, if I'm not fed up with knitting or doing things yarn related, as if I could be, is I'm doing the Thundercloud Kisses shawl by Truly Mrytle, Libby Johnson. And I'm really pleased with that. It's very, very pretty, isn't it? Well, I think it is. I like this gingery colour, you see. It's not everybody's favourite. Now, as you can see, the only thing I'm not so keen on is the fact it's not reversible. And I prefer my shawls to be reversible. But I love the colour combination so much. I wanted to do this shawl in it. Now, I don't know why I'm making more shawls, because, you know, I don't need any more shawls. I just love knitting shawls. Now, without giving anything away, because it is a paid for pattern, I decided in my, you know, I'm just an experienced knitter and I know exactly what I'm doing. I started to carry the ginger yarn up the side of the knitting, because it tells you to break it every time. And I thought, that means 2 ends to sew in every so many rows, and they're evenly spaced, right? And that's going to produce quite a bit of bulk on the same edge every so many rows. And I've got all those ends to sew in. So I decided to start carrying it up the side. But I thought, I can't guarantee that I've got the tension right between, you know, as I wrap it round, and I'm going to continue that all the way through. And, you know, it's nice, isn't it, to be able to stretch a shawl when you're blocking it, or, you know, trying to wrap it round you. And I then decided that I would start again. I think I'd only done about 4 repeats. I'd start again, and I did as the pattern tells me to. On this occasion, I'm having trouble getting my little kisses to sit the right side of the yarn, but sure, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. The colours are, the dark one is Penny. Isn't that lovely? It's a bit darker than that. By Cosmic Strings. And this one is Florence by Biff Sugar Yarns. Both merino singles. So if I realise, you know, I mean, they start fluffing up at the end. They get quite fluffy, don't they? And start separating. A single's quite delicate compared to a robust high twist merino and nylon. But I'm enjoying that. I'm sitting there just doing a couple of rows a night. Well, a bit more than that, hopefully. If I could do a pattern repeat at the moment, then I'm happy. But the kiss rows are taking me longer and longer. I need to put my craft light on because I can't see what I'm doing. So at the moment, those are my 2 whips that I've got on the needles. I hope to finish the top by the weekend, and then I need to wash it so that the linen, you know, loosens up a bit. And then I talked to Mom about that lovely swatch I did for, I'm just going to disappear sideways, going down a hill, steps. No, I'm not going to fall out the chair. I did that. I'm going to stop. I'll come back to you in a minute. Hello. Sorry about that. My next cast on will be, you remember this swatch that I did a few weeks ago, well, probably a couple of months ago now, and I did it initially for the Elton cardigan, and then I decided that I thought Mum might like it, and I haven't knitted my mum anything for many years. I need to do a nice jumper once, which I thought she'd like, but she's not really a jumper person. She's more of a cardigan person. I don't think I ever saw her in it. It had a lovely lace pattern around the neck. Do you remember that, Mum? It's like a hydrangea colour. Yeah. Anyway, she's worn this next to her skin. She doesn't think it's going to make her itchy. So I'm going to knit her this, and she found in a charity shop a nice pattern for it. So it's a plain and simple V-neck 4-ply. It's done for country style. 9349. I've no idea how old it is. I don't think it's current. And that cost her 30p. So she's very pleased about that. Excuse me. Over there. And just to refresh your memory, the colours I'm going to be using are Obsidian from Socks Knit Yay. And it's got lovely colours in it. It looks like a flat brown, but it isn't. It's heathered. And the pink is Hydrangea Aspera by Botanical Yarns. And that again's got lovely colours in it. And believe it or not, this is the same colourway, but in mohair. Hydrangea Aspera, again by Botanical Knits. And the three of them, I think they look rather nice. And I'm very pleased. And I'm pleased to be able to knit my mum something. And I'm keeping it in my batik bag that I made myself. It's just a plain drawstring. It's got a plain inside, no pockets. And I've used some ribbon that was wrapped around our presents at Christmas from one of the tenor ladies. And it doesn't really, the ribbon doesn't really go with the batik, but it was to hand, and it does work rather nicely. So for now, I'm not going to be changing it. I will say that I'd like to do the Elton at some point for me, but I think I'm more likely to do it without the mohair. I think I'm more likely to do it in a stripe and do it in 2 complementary 4 plies than a mohair iron. I can't explain why. I think I've got that nervousness about having too much mohair and me being hard on my clothes, because I am, definitely. So that's my immediate plan. I have many, many more plans. I want to knit the runway tee by Sheila Ackroyd, is it? That Estelle from Midwinter Yarns has just knitted. It is in her Lithuanian linen, and that lovely green and the pumice colour that I showed you last time, I think. I want to do that. That's in wide stripes. So I need to finish the top, start the cardigan. Now the cardigan's going to be a long-term project, so I may start the linen top first and then start the cardigan as my evening knitting when I've done the shawl. But I've got too many options, you know, it's like bouncing around my head and everything. And if I write a list of what I need to do, which I've started doing, because I need to encompass other crafts like my sewing and things as well, then I get the satisfaction of ticking them off if I've made a list. So I'm going to try and do that, and it motivates me to keep going. Although generally, I don't really have a problem being motivated to pick up my knitting. I don't know if I have in the last, 20 years run out of knitting for pleasure at all, really. So yeah. Now I'm going to stop the podcast again now, and I'm going to come back to you in a minute with what I've been buying. See in a minute. Hello, part 3. I had an email from Wool Warehouse, and they said, let us introduce you to the new Drops yarn, felted tweed. Well, I love my felted tweed, so much so that I won't knit on it. You know what I mean? The Rowan version. And also, Lovecraft's, their Willow and Lark. I don't know if they still do it. I can't remember what it was called. That was a very similar mix of wool, alpaca and viscose. So when I saw this and it was $2.99 a ball, I went and had a look, and I bought this lovely silver grey, and it's very soft. And this is the Pebbles number 6 Drops soft tweed, and I bought that to do a cardigan or a jumper. I've got in mind a boxy style jumper. I can't think what the name of it is at the moment, from the Knits for Winter. So I ordered that, and it didn't quite make the £25. Well, it might have done. Of course it did. For free postage. And then since buying it, Penny's pointed out to me that it's got a significantly shorter meterage than Rowan's, and it looks a bit thicker. It's softer to the touch on the ball, so I think it might be slightly looser spin. Not that I'm an expert on that, but you know, it's nice. I think it's going to be nice. I think I'm going to knit it on a 4-ply gauge, because I think the felted tweed stands up to wear better when you do that. But yeah, I've seen a nice jumper, and Penny's going to get me a couple of more balls for me, 4 more balls, so I can do what I like. Then I don't have to worry about running out of yarn again. What do I do with all this spare stuff that I do end up with, though? So while I was there, I thought, well, I could still do with some more knitted summer tops, because I live in t-shirts, and really, as a knitter, I should be having my own knitted garments in the summer. Now we're starting to go out again. And I was having a look for something in cotton, and I found this, which I hadn't seen before, and it's Stylecrafts Naturals, bamboo and cotton. It's a double knitting, but it's quite a fine double knit. I think you can knit it as a sport weight or even a 4-ply, depending on your gauge and how loose you knit. It's 60% bamboo and 40% cotton, and I would say that it would be ideal for baby knits because it's really nice and soft, and it doesn't look like a full mercerised. You get that sheen with mercerised cotton. Maybe it's the bamboo that softens it, but me sitting here stroking it. Very, very nice. But you can't just buy one quantity, can you? So I bought this as well. Now, because I've got this peach coloured top on, this is a lot duller than that. That looks lilac-y. This is called Putty, and it's like a pinky greige, if you like. Very nice. And that's the colour I chose first. That one's called Celery, and that one's Pumice. Tom's going to put some net curtains up one day for me, but we keep forgetting to do it between podcasts. I mean, we are only one day off the longest day, so it is bright outside. Anyway, I'm going to have a look at making some little tops. I don't think anything too fancy for me, but also I did wonder whether I might make my mother-in-law her annual cardigan out of the pinky pumice colour, or maybe even the green, because I think she'd wear either. She tends to go for pastels, so I won't ask her. I'll just give it to her as a surprise, because she gets a surprise, Christmas. She knows she's going to get something off me, but she doesn't know what. I think I've knitted about 9 cardigans now over the last 9 Christmases. It might even be 10. I don't know where she puts them all, but she wears them, she loves them. She even layers them up, although she has got improved heating again, so she might not need so many layers. And then you saw the Florence colourway in the shawl that I'm making, and I said to you that I'd ordered some from Alison of Biff Sugar Yards. I was thinking about it, and it's come. Now, I was a bit concerned when I saw the picture where Alison sent me. It was significantly darker, because this is BFL, significantly darker than the merino single, and I was like, but I really liked it, so I ordered it anyway. I'm a greedy pig. Look at the colours in this. I mean, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. But it's creamier than I was expecting, so I'm really pleased about that. And this is going to be a cardigan. Now, you might laugh, right, after all the swamp monster. What should we call it? Debacle? Palaver? Disaster? I don't know. After all that, we knitting, I'm going to make a semi-fitted, long-sleeved, possibly V-neck cardigan with this. A little, you know what I mean? A little fitted cardigan. And I've got 600 grams. So I'd ordered that. I can tell you this because Tom's not here. Well, I don't think he listens to me all the way through. Don't listen. Don't listen, Weaves. I'd ordered that, and I felt a little bit guilty. I don't really do guilty, but I did feel guilty on this occasion. Because you get it into your head, I've got to have it. You know, and then once you've ordered it, you think, oh, okay then. You know what I do anyway. And then I was looking on Wool Warehouse for the tweed, and we were sat watching the telly one night. I was on my phone, and I said, it's good. He said, buy all the yarn you want. I said, do you mean that? He said, I don't mind. Don't care what you buy. Buy as much as you want. You never knit it all. Well, he didn't say that, but, you know, it's probably what he's thinking. Now, when I say that to him about buying things for his planes, he's like, well, I don't like to spend money. And I'm like, well, it's your only hobby. Anyway, so I put the other colour of the naturals in the basket then, and I thought, yeah, I'll just have it all. You know, all the things. And when I realised that, you know, when I saw the colours of the bamboo and cotton, I thought, well, if I can make one for Kath's Christmas cardigan, that makes me feel slightly better. Because last year she ended up with the other colour that I had from Somerset Yarns. I can't think what it was called now. Beautiful cream with speckles in again. Not the same as this, but not totally dissimilar, on the same sort of end of the colour spectrum for me. It had pinkies and beige blobs in, but it was a bit brighter. And because I didn't have enough to make me a top, I knitted myself a top. Hated it because it was too weird. And so I undid it and knitted Kath a Christmas cardigan with it. I hadn't worn the top, I just undid it straight away. Because you know that's what I do with nearly everything I make. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'd like that done really for the winter time. I don't know what I was thinking. And then I go and look at fabric, you know, and I go and look at Liberty, you know, to do some English paper piecing. I've not even got the kit I bought from Emma Jones of Vintage Sewing Box. I've not even got that out of the box yet. I've had a quick look at it, and I need to start doing it. Help me, please, help me. I don't know what to do next. Do you know what Ange does on Yarn and Yarn? She got that dice, haven't you, Ange? And she throws it, and it sort of dictates. I mean, yeah, she can obviously overrule it if she wants to, but she writes a load of options down with a number against them. Throws this gaming dice, which has got all these several-sided, you know, more than 6-sided dice, and then she sticks to that for I don't know how long, yeah, whatever sort of time period she wants to say, basically. And I really need to do that for myself, I think, and it will force me to do sewing and English paper piecing, and I want to do a bit of everything, and I think that is one of the many curses of the crafter, you know. I'm looking over here because I finally got the mesh out of the wardrobe. In fact, out of the wardrobe. Yeah, it was in the wardrobe. I've got this mesh. I'll show you. It can be a bit off-putting when podcasters suddenly disappear from view. This is some black mesh, and this is to make a shower caddy in the bathroom. I've spoken about it before a little while ago, and I bought 2 lots of mesh, and one of them's heavier. This one's thin. I've squared it off a bit, but the idea is that I've got all the measurements because my mum's made me a couple now, and the one I've got is getting a bit worse for wear because there's only one of them. It doesn't get washed as often as it could really, because I just forget to get out of the shower, and it just drip dries. Doesn't do it any good, although it's cotton, so it can be put on a high temperature wash when it does get washed. Anyway, I digress as usual. The idea is, well, not the idea. I am going to make a shower caddy, a square, and it's going to have a carbon rod at the top and maybe one at the bottom. And I'm going to edge it with this tape. I've got some polypropylene tape, and Mum's given me some nylon ribbon that I can use as well, which it won't rot, you see, in the shower area. And I'm going to make myself 2. So it'll be a square back, and it'll have big pockets in, which are going to be trimmed with the tape and held down by the ribbon. in the middle, and I'm going to make 2 at once, I think. So it'll make it a bit easier for me. And then I've got one in the wash then, and one on the wall. And I'm looking forward to having a go at that, because it's not going to be too difficult, I don't think. But then it's sewing with net, so I might be doing a lot of tacking things first and then sewing them. So yeah, I think that's all the knitting content. So I'm just going to chat for a few minutes now about what I've been up to. I was supposed to go and do some sewing, wasn't I, with Mum on Saturday. Well, you don't know that, but I might have said it before, I can't remember. No, I didn't, because it was, I think I'd recorded the week before. Where time's flashing by. I was supposed to go up to Mum's on Saturday and start sewing the gelato top. I transferred all the markings, I'd taken the fabric off the paper, unpinned it, etc. So that was fine, we were ready to go in terms of sewing. I was just getting in the car. My friend Jeanette, who I worked with many years ago, and she's moved into a house about a year ago, literally within spitting distance sort of thing. It takes 2 minutes to walk to her house. Was just walking her dog, and so she popped by and we had a chat. I was sat in the car, and Tom went back in the house, and we were there half an hour talking. And I said to her, I'll go and sit in her back garden. I can't really get into her house very easily. Get in the front, I can't get thinking. So I'm going to go and have a chat to her soon. And then my brother had phoned, because one of the things I've bought, which I put on Instagram, is one of those 3-tiered trolleys from Hobbycraft, the metal ones. And I've got a lilac one, and I've started filling it up. Well, my sister-in-law got it for me as she was passing, and it went to my brother's. So I then drove past to my brother's, who lives about a mile from my mum, and had a chat to him as well. So I ended up, instead of getting to my mum's at about 11:30, I got there well past 12:30, 12:45. And we'd lost a whole hour, and that's quite a big chunk out of the day, really. And then she was going to have her lunch, and we in and ahhing about different things. So we didn't end up doing any sewing. So I left it with her, and I've come back. But we will do some. I've had a bit of because the weather changed and it got a bit wet and damp, and I've had a bit of a rough time with my shoulders and things. And I was finding some days I'm very, very, very stiff. I've not been too bad today, although when I woke up this morning I couldn't move. And that's because I've been sat in the same position for a lot of time yesterday, for many hours, trying to sew the ends in and then pick up the neck. And I'd finished I actually finished the knitting part on the top yesterday as well. So I'd been sat in a very similar position for many hours. I ended up with a head rush as well. I get that sometimes if I'm sat very still. And I don't move my head regularly. So, yeah, so I paid for that this morning, but I feel a lot better today. Now, it does me good to keep moving. It doesn't do you any good to stay put, really. So, yeah, I did that on Saturday, and then, what did I do then? I have done something else. Tell me what it is. No, I can't remember. Without looking at my diary. Oh, dear me. I've just been knitting on this thing, haven't I, on this top. So yeah, I've not got any further in terms of going out or anything. I'm going out with Mum tomorrow. Don't know where we're going. We might be going to Webb's, where there's a big garden centre, and they've got a Lakeland and a big Hobbycraft as well, stuck on the side of it. And she's got free drinks vouchers, which is always a good thing. And then next Wednesday, on Monday, I'm going out with a couple of friends from work. We'll probably meet at the garden centre because it's just easy. A man I used to work with, and one of my tenor lady friends, I'll pick her up and we'll go and meet him for a coffee. I haven't seen him for well over a year because of COVID. And then on Wednesday I'm going to go into Worcester with my friend Liz, who also lives in Worcester, but she's a school friend. And yeah, we'll have a mooch around there. So I'm sure I've missed something. I will turn this off, you know, in a minute and think, oh, I should have said about that. But yeah, anyway, waffle. You say you like waffle, so you're going to get waffle. I like to, you know, give my audience satisfaction. One thing I do want to do, I mean, I did say about doing a needle review things, and I want to introduce me talking about my opinion on certain aspects of my crafting, you know, why I do what I do and things. And that includes finishing and all sorts of stuff, if you're interested. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, it's just the way that I tend to do it now, after years of practice and what suits me. And I know it's not, you know, what I do isn't for everybody. You know, for instance, I know it's Stephen Westwood going on about weaving your ends in behind your knitting. Well, I used to do that years and years ago, but it was never secure enough for me, so I don't do that anymore. I just sew the ends in when I've finished with a sharp needle, and I probably do it far too vigorously, really, or what's the word? Well, my mum would say I do it far too well, because if I give her something to undo, she can't undo it. But, you know, it's better than something falling apart. Well, yeah, I thought I'd talk about that. And also, if anybody's interested in me doing a short video on Ravelry and navigating it, I can do that as well. I can certainly prepare to see if I can hone my computer skills, my technical skills a bit more, but it's quite easy to do a video of what's on your screen. I mean, I record this on my phone, but I use my laptop for the editing and everything. So if you ever want me to show you how to do a saved search, you know, if you're always looking for the same thing, for instance, on Ravelry, for instance, you might be looking for 4-ply cardigans, or roll neck jumpers, or, you know, anything like that, or 4-ply baby jackets. I can show you how to set up a search, and how to navigate, and how to put photographs in, and all sorts of things. I'm not an expert. There's a lot about Ravelry that I don't use, that I haven't needed to, and I can also show you how I, you know, register my stash on there as well. So yeah, if you're interested in anything like that, I will talk about my needles. I've still got plenty of knitting over the years to show you. Mum said to me the other day, you haven't shown your nice shawls off. I said, yeah, but it's summer now. People don't want to look at shawls. I said, yeah, I'm going to be podcasting for a long time, hopefully, and I can talk about my shawls, get them out of the drawer and remind myself that I don't wear them, and hopefully start wearing them. In fact, if we're going to have a good spell of weather, I need to start washing my shawls, give them their annual wash. They get washed if I spill anything down me. Well, because I wear them infrequently, most of them anyway, most of them only get washed once a year. The ones I wear a lot more frequently, I will do. If, you know, it's a nice day in the winter, I will, you know, give them a quick squeeze through and put them on the line. So I don't do formal blocking when I wash them, though, because most of them are more than big enough for me. You know, we'll be back to the Isadora Duncan thing, strangling myself with spare bits of scarf hanging around the place. And I've also recently bought some patterns, actually. I bought 3 Maddie Harvey patterns, and one of them is the Amma jumper, which is, I think it's double knitted. It's got a nice knot detail in rows across the chest. And then it's got the same colour at the bottom as well as contrast. She's done hers as a crop, but obviously you can do whatever length you want. And then the Freshie shawl and another one, and I'll have to put the name on the screen because I've got the other one, but I'll put photographs of them up. She did a yarn show last weekend and was offering her newsletter people a decent discount, and I thought I've wanted the Amma jumper for ages now, so I just took advantage of it, and I like these two shawls because one of them has got a very interesting. It's a two colour shawl, and you do a cast on at the end of certain rows. I haven't looked at it in any detail, but then you undo those cast offs and cut the loop in half, and you've got a ready-made fringe. Yeah, she said it saves you having to measure and cut out and attach it and everything. I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. I've not heard of that before. I mean, I thought that sounds fabulous, and I'd like a shawl with a fringe on. So just saying about Isadora Duncan and bits hanging off reminded me of that. So yeah, I need to start telling you what patterns I've bought as well. Try not to buy patterns. I need to use the ones I've got. And yet again, we go round and round in circles. But you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm with friends here, and you're nodding at me and going, yes, Anne. You're not wagging your finger saying, no, Anne. No. I'm going now. I'm going to go and get this sorted, get it on the computer so I can start editing it either tonight or tomorrow. I want to go and ring my friend's mum because it's the anniversary of my friend Debbie passing away tomorrow. So I want to go and ring her tonight. Yeah, have a quick chat to her. So I shall have a nice day out tomorrow, hopefully, with my ma. And I will see you in the not too distant future. All right, get in touch, you know where I am. I'll see you soon. Ta-ra a bit.